Oh, Canada.
Today on Down to the Wire, Canadian Olympic team selected. Find out who's heading to Sochi and what we would have done differently if we were to pick the team ourselves. Today is January 10th, 2014. I'm Shawn Da Silva, and this is Andrés Rankin, and this is episode number 7 of Down to the Wire.
It's a new year, it's a new semester for us at university, and there's a new format for the show. From now on, we're only going to be doing one sport each week, but as a result of that, we're going to do a video each Friday. On this week's episode, we're going to discuss Team Canada, so let's get that kicked off.
If you didn't get that by his amazing singing, not mine, his.
No,
You're singing.
Oh, let's get started at arguably one of the most important positions on the team, the goaltenders. Roberto Luongo, Carey Price, and Mike Smith, the three guys who are selected to play for the team. And I'm not sure about these choices. I mean, Team Canada, they have so many players, always so many different players to choose from. But personally, these are not the three that I would have picked.
I agree with them somewhat. I think the only question for me is Corey Crawford, Mike Smith. I'll probably switch those two around. Other than that, I agree with them. It's Luongo. He led them to gold last Olympics, and why not give him a chance again? He's still around. He's still playing decent hockey, and he's probably his last time playing in the Olympics. And then you have Carey Price playing amazing this season for the Montreal Canadiens, and then you have Mike Smith. He's playing good as well, but if I were to change one thing in that goaltending, it would be Corey Crawford instead of Mike Smith.
I would also probably put Corey Crawford in for Mike Smith, but the bigger question for me here is Marc-André Fleury. I don't think it's fair for a goalie to be judged on the playoffs. I mean, most people are saying that's the reason why he wasn't selected, not even for the summer camp. Okay. If we're talking about playoffs here, come on, that's not reasonable. We're talking about Roberto Luongo and Carey Price. Roberto Luongo has had some pretty bad history in the playoffs as well. Also, Carey Price and Mike Smith has barely had playoff experience. So, to me, to say that Marc-André Fleury is not on the team because of his past with the playoffs makes absolutely no sense. He's first in the league right now in wins, despite the recent struggles that the Pittsburgh Penguins have had. This guy's excellent. I don't know why he's not even being considered for the team.
I agree with you on that part, but if you were to judge just on this season and maybe even a bit of last season, I think Carey Price does carry a bit of edge over Marc-André Fleury overall.
For the defense, the 8 players selected for Team Canada are Jay Bouwmeester, Drew Doughty, Dan Hamhuis. Hamhuis. That's a weird way to spell that. Hamhuis. Duncan Keith, Alex Pietrangelo, PK Subban, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and Shea Weber.
Dan Hamhuis over Brett Seabrook was probably a bad move. I would take Brett Seabrook. I know that he's, left-handed, right-handed, all that debate where they should have an even mix of left-handed versus right-handed defensemen. And that is a pretty good argument. You would need that versatility there. But the way Brett Seabrook's playing and the way he plays with Duncan Keith on the back end, I would take Brett Seabrook over Dan Hamhuis.
I 100% agree on that because, sure, they have Drew Doughty, Pietrangelo, Weber, and Subban. They're all right-handed. But you've got guys who can switch over from wing to wing. I don't see what the problem would be to have 2 right-handed guys on the same defensive pair. And this season, look at the numbers. Brent Seabrook has 31 points in 46 games. That's fantastic. Both Vlasic and Hamhuis aren't quite up to that. They have 17 and 14 points respectively. And they both played 45 games. Sure, they've been playing solid defense, but the point production isn't there the way it is with Seabrook, and I don't think it would hurt to have 5 right-handed guys and 3 left-handed guys. So I would definitely put Seabrook in this team. For the forwards, this one's a long list. We have Jamie Benn, Patrice Bergeron, Jeff Carter, Sidney Crosby, Matt Duchene, Ryan Getzlaf, Chris Kunitz, Patrick Marleau, Rick Nash, Corey Perry, Patrick Sharp, Steven Stamkos, John Tavares, and Jonathan Toews.
No matter who you pick for Team Canada out of the eligible people, you're going to have a good team. And I think that they do have a good team based on who's picked. However, you're missing players like Giroux. You're missing James Neal, Tyler Seguin. All these players could definitely be on that team. But you have Giroux, Jamie Benn. Who would you pick? I think I would pick Giroux.
St. Louis is definitely the biggest shock to me not being on this team. Sure, he's 38. Look, they want Team Canada to have pace, but St. Louis has led all players in points since the 2010 Olympics overall. That's incredible. Last year, he had the most points in the league. This guy is fantastic for a 38-year-old. And you know what? He's not slow either. I don't know if you saw on Tuesday, he scored a empty netter against the Jets. He showed speed there, and I don't know why this guy's not on the team. I mean, they've got plenty of guys playing at center. They got 6 centers, so they're going to have to figure this one out, like who's going to play on the wing. My guess is Bergeron. He's going to get moved to the wing. And then they've got 5 guys who play center as well, but, you know, these guys for sure can switch over to the wing. Duchesne, Marleau, Sharp, Benn, and Carter. But it would definitely do absolutely no harm to put in a guy like St. Louis. I think this was the biggest mistake, in my opinion, on Team Canada. You got to feel bad for him because he's definitely not going to make the next Olympics. I mean,
Definitely, it's
a miracle if he makes it then. So, looking at the team that Canada has, I would definitely put St. Louis in for either Bergeron, Benn, or Carter, because all these 3 guys, they're natural centers. Ben and Carter can play on the wings. Bergeron, like I said, is most likely going to get moved to the wing. But St. Louis has had more points than all 3 of them. He has more assists than Bergeron or Carter. He's tied with Ben. Also, let's think about Stamkos for a second. We're not 100% sure he's going to make it to the Olympics, but if Stamkos is on this team, him and St. Louis on a line together would be fantastic.
He did express his frustrations when asked about it. He definitely wanted to be on this team. He definitely deserved to be on this team, but for some reason he was left off the team, whether it's his age, something else. If they made a second team, they'd be good enough to win gold as well. There's so much talent in Canada. It's hard to pick a team. So obviously there's going to be players left out that should have made the team but didn't make the team.
Other notable mentions, Giroux. He had a really slow start this season, but now he's got 39 points, 44 games. He's definitely picked it up. I think I'd put Seguin in there as well. Thornton and Spezza, not bad replacements if you need them in case of injuries. And then on defense, Chris Letang, a really big name being left out. And even Phaneuf. Phaneuf gets a lot of hate, but I think Phaneuf could have made it. He's a left-hander instead of guys like Vlasic or Hamers, whatever.
Hamers.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the guys that are actually on the team, though. What are some of the guys that you're happy to see make the team, and that you think was a good decision by the guys picking Team Canada?
Jonathan Toews. He's a skilled player up front. He's definitely proven himself time in and time out that he can be a strong leader on the team. And then you have Tavares. He's excelled greatly and he's performed really well this season, especially.
Marleau and Nash, 2 guys that it was debatable, but Marleau has been absolutely lights out this season. He's a big reason why the Sharks have been amazing. 42 points in 45 games so far. And Nash, not as strong of a season. He's been out for a lot of it. 18 points in 28 games isn't bad, and he's always been huge for Canada. At the last Olympics, he had 5 points in 7 games, and he had that one unforgettable goal where he ripped the mesh of the net. So, I'm really happy to see him back. Should be exciting.
That's it for today's show. We're still trying to get this whole new structure figured out, so hopefully you guys liked it. Shout out to Darius who requested a shout out. I'm sure he's got a lot to say about this topic too, so shout out to him. He's in London right now at a tournament, so yeah, hopefully they do good. We'll see you next week.